Guys, let's start this morning off on a serious note, though. You two have been all over this subject and done such a great job breaking it down. Let's go back to Ja Morant. Police in Tennessee did a welfare check on him yesterday. That after the Grizzly star posted a series of pictures on Instagram saying he loved his mom, dad, and daughter, and a final picture of himself back to the camera with a caption that said, bye. Police told reporters Morant told authorities he's okay, and he was just planning on taking a break from social media. That's what he meant by the bye. Skip, let's start with you. What's your reaction to this?
So, Mr. Sharpe, let's start with the premise that the first time Ja was suspended over the incident after the game at Denver, city you played in, he immediately, in a statement, said, I need help. He indicated that he checked himself into a Florida counseling facility. It didn't last very long, so I'm not sure exactly what was achieved at said facility. But that's what he said, and that's what we knew.
Okay.
So coming out of that, off a second suspension that is now indefinite, we have not heard any length of suspension just yet. So we're not sure what Ja's mental state is at this moment. If suddenly he posts his love for his father, and then his mother, and then his sister, and then a final post of just one word, B-Y-E, bye.
Yeah. It was his daughter. He posted his daughter.
It was a daughter? I thought it was his sister. Okay, baby girl, because it was his daughter. Okay, got it. Love for his family. And then he deletes that post. Obviously, that's a cause for alarm.
Right.
Fair to say, we talked about it some yesterday, but it's pretty chilling when he does that.
The question is, Skip, did he delete the tweet after he talked to the police officers or before, after realizing that, man, I'm sounding the alarm bells?
Okay, I'm assuming it was much before.
Okay.
Because now to our moment at hand here, this is just me. I found it odd, if not a little bizarre, that the sheriff's office decided to go, as Jen said, to welfare check on Ja Morant, the biggest star in the NBA's smallest TV market, Memphis. They thought that they needed to go knock on his door and say, are you okay?
Right.
Well, time out. It just shocked me yesterday because wouldn't his family have already done that? Right. Wouldn't the Grizzlies, he's the face of not only the city, but of that franchise. He's a face of the league. Wouldn't the league have already checked on him?
Yeah, that could be possible. But did the family reach out to the police officers and ask them to go, or was it out of they don't normally do stuff like that? I mean, unless they're on social media, but they are on social media now.
Wouldn't it go all the way to the top, to the league office? Wouldn't they just jump in the middle of this and say, send somebody, just make sure, or let's call him, let's text him, let's make sure. It just seems like the sheriff's office, the sheriff's deputies would have been completely preempted and notified that all is well, all is cool, and that he's, quote unquote, taking a break from social media. So the first thing I thought was, were the police or the deputies, were they grandstanding here just a little bit to say, we are doing our job. We are protecting our leading citizen here in Memphis, Tennessee, right? Because they did need a little publicity. I'm just guessing because their public information officer was responding to all queries yesterday. And yet, the big picture is, on top of all that, that it was chilling what he posted because it was a scary signal.
Right.
So was it a cry for help, or was it just a sympathy plea or ploy, just because he's feeling a little left out? He's feeling like I got suspended again. Maybe he's feeling like I don't deserve this. There's so much operating here that's way beyond just I'm taking a break from social media. That's not how you take a break from social media. Usually, if you
could have just deleted it,
you could just delete your accounts, right?
Yeah.
Or you could post a sentence or two about, you know what, this hasn't been good for me, whatever. I've had my issues here on social media. Maybe I've learned my lesson on social media. Maybe it's just time for me to take a break from social media with some explanation.
Yeah, because everything that he posted on social media, he could have called his mom and dad. Hey, Dad, I'm getting off social media, bro.
Okay.
Mom, I'm getting off social media.
All right. And?
When you do it in the way that he did it, It's so dramatic. It's so theatrical. A normal, prudent person, especially someone that's on social media, is going to take it like the cops, like the deputies or whatever they are, like they did. It's funny that they took it upon themselves, but they see somebody that got 150 guns, talking about he want to blow up the world, and they don't do nothing. They talking about that's his Second Amendment right, and he got freedom of speech, and they don't do nothing.
Touche.
John posts that, woo, they got 55 cars over there.
Right, knocking on the door. Did they just want to take the opportunity to rub elbows with the most famous human in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it could be. Now, the bigger picture. Where is Ja in your humble estimation? Because, as I say, we don't even have a length of suspension. It is indefinite.
Right.
We do know that Nike is backing away because it pulled the promotion.
They don't use his images, but they're still up on Sneakers app. So I still.
Did you look?
Yeah, the Hunger. I think Hunger is that.
Hungry.
Is that the
It's
name
called Hungry. It's the One. Yeah, Hungry model.
They're still up there. I just think, like you said, they pulled the imagery of him on the site. They pulled, probably the promotion of it. And so, Skip, look, I can't really disagree with what you said. I'm glad. I'm good. I'm glad that he's okay. Everything checked out. In a situation like this, it's better to be safe than sorry, because we always say, man, he was crying out for help, and I just wish I had listened. I wish I had heard. And so now he said what he said, and the deputies went over there and they did a welfare check, and they made sure everything checked out okay. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think him being off social media in the meantime,
I'm with you.
I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of social media is probably what got him to where he is right now. The clicks, the likes, the mentions, everybody let Ja, you doing that ball out, whatever you're doing. And so I just think there was a different way he could have handled this without sounding the alarm bells. I just believe he could have just picked up the phone and called his mom, called his dad, and said, I'm going to take a break from social media. Hey, there's nothing going on. I'm going to be laying low for a little while.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay. I'm respecting this because I think this is a smart young man who's done some dumb things.
Right.
But I do, when I watch him interviewed, he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
He has pretty good perspective until he leaves the basketball arena, and then he loses perspective.
Right. Correct.
But my point is, this was calculated, the posts in a row.
Right.
They're all calculated. The deletion is calculated.
But Skip, like I said, the only thing I want to know, when did the deletion take place? Was it before or after the deputies intervened? Because
that had to be long before, because we talked about it yesterday that he had deleted.
Right.
He had deleted it, I think, almost immediately.
Okay. Because if he deleted it after, he's like, and they was like, with Ja, when you put what you posted up, you said your goodbye to your mom, goodbye to your dad, goodbye to your daughter, and people take that as you're saying goodbye forever. And so we're concerned. We don't know if the parents or someone close to Ja saw that and intervened and said, man, can y'all get over to Ja's place and check on him or something like that? So we don't really know the sequence, but you said like he posted it and it was deleted almost immediately.
Okay, so they were just doing their job the way they would do for any ordinary citizen, although I don't know about that. Okay. So the bigger picture is we still don't have a verdict here about what is his fate with the NBA. And I still feel like we got bamboozled the first time because they kind of slow-played it in little increments. They'd say, well, he's suspended for 2 games. No, it's 4 games. Right. And then it wound up being only 8 games. And once he posted, I need help and I'm getting help, then I know you and I just back completely off because you say, way to go. Yeah, we're with you.
Right.
And then it's a hands-off situation because you're expecting he went to a facility and checked himself in. And again, most require a minimum 3 weeks. They prefer the optimal is 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. Tiger Woods, 42 days in the facility in Mississippi way back in whatever year that was, 2007 or whatever, when he had his issue.
But Skip, like you said, the situation is, though, the treatment doesn't start once you leave the facility.
No.
It's an ongoing process basically for the rest of your life. And that's how addiction works because it gets a hold of you. And I don't know, Skip, let me frame this. I'm not saying Ja is addicted to anything. I'm just saying that when people go to those
that's
facilities,
how that works. That is correct.
That is an ongoing process. It's not like, okay, you go to the doctor, they go back, do an x-ray, say, okay, the bone's healed, and you go on about your life. That's not how it works.
Yeah. So the NBA went so far in their final analysis of what happened the first time in Denver to say he was intoxicated. And for them to go that far, they have to have pretty solid proof that he was intoxicated. Then Ja comes back very quickly from quote unquote counseling. Right. And you and I, what was your term for it? Did he get drive-through? Because it couldn't have been more than about a week. Yeah. And all of a sudden he's going up to see the commissioner and he's back. Yeah. And he's going to play at Houston. Then they go home the next night and play Houston and Memphis, and all is well, right? Yeah. And he immediately posted, I do not have an alcohol problem and have never had an alcohol problem. So we're taking that suddenly off the table, and now I don't know where to go with it. Right. I don't know what first he said, I need help. Right. For what? Right. For what?
Skip, I don't want to jump to the conclusion that because the NBA deemed that he was intoxicated that night, that he's a drunk or he's an alcoholic.
No,
but they're just saying in that situation, you were intoxicated.
Yes, and I know these people at the NBA well enough to know they do their homework. Yeah, they're not going to post something that they could be sued over. Right.
And the thing is, Skip, we know this. Alcohol and guns don't mix.
No.
So you're intoxicated, you waving that thing around, it fires, discharges. And as the commissioner was so eloquently stating, you could have maimed someone, you could have killed someone, hell, you could have killed yourself.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna. I don't know, Skip, how soon that we're gonna know that when the commissioner Silver hands down the punishment. But I just believe that whatever the CBA allows, the collective bargaining agreement, whatever it allows, whatever the owners and the players have agreed to, I think Ja's going to get the max. Yeah. Whatever that is.
Okay. And yet, this time, after the second incident, IG Live, thanks to his friend Devontae Pack, who just inadvertently, sort of accidentally caught Ja once again, and then said, whoops. Yeah. Right after that, Ja posted that statement that you had no use for whatsoever because you said it sounded computer generated, right? It sounded like some computer standard apology that he had sort of tweaked to make work for his circumstance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm with you. I'm not sure he went to any counseling. I'm not sure that his heart is in any of this. And so, to me, I don't know what to make of this deleted post because it's one or the other. Right. It's either a cry for help or a plea for some sort of sympathy. It's a plea or a ploy for sympathy.
Could it be both?
Could be both. I just need you to love me. I want to show you that how much I love my family, and I need you now to love me. Because if he stays on social media and reads too many comments, I'm sure he's getting barraged with negativity.
No, but there's also some positivity also. There's some in that, Skip, that say, oh, he's only 23. Oh, there's some in there saying that he has a Second Amendment right. Yeah. Okay, well, Shannon, where are you when you see all these Republicans and they standing there with their guns and they're hunting and they're doing all this? Ja can do all of that. He just has to leave the NBA. If he wants to wave a gun, go say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to turn my back on $200 million, and I'm going to hang out with the homies. I'm going to do 40s and have tequila, and I'm going to wave my piece on IG Live. Okay. But the NBA says, no, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to have anything bring negativity to the NBA. Yeah. Conduct detrimental to the league. That's the Memphis Grizzlies. Conduct detrimental to the Grizzlies. They're not going to allow you to do that. So his Second Amendment, you got to check it at the door when you come into a private entity.
Okay, I'm with you. Nike tried to hang with him through the first incident, and they even put out a new commercial. And yet now they're pulling back because there are certain lines that they want you to have some edge, some street edge, or whatever you want to call it, you know, like rappers type edge. But there are lines you can't go across that line, right?
Yeah, we got Second Amendment right. But Fox says you can't bring a firearm on this premise. Okay. What about my Second Amendment right? What about my private employee right? That says, no, that's not going to happen.
Okay. Powerade immediately just said, no, we're out. We just can't abide this. And he lost around $39 million because he did not qualify by making
one of the three All-NBA teams.
One, first, second, or third team. And now he is set to start next year, 5 years, $194 million.
Right.
But we don't know if he's going to be allowed to start the season. And to me, as I told you from the start, it would help him, to me, to save him from himself, to tough love him from the top, which they did not do the first time around.
True.
They protected him. They spun him right out of trouble and right back onto the floor. It would help to have him gone at least a half a year. Just ideally, to me, a whole year. But to your point, the CBA and the NBA PA is not going to allow that to happen.
Right.
So I'm not even sure. They're probably negotiating as we speak over what it could be, what's fair, and what you're saying, whatever the max can be.
Yeah, I think they're going to get the max.
Yes. Okay. But weeks have passed now because that was on that Sunday Mother's Day that happened, I believe.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago. So we still don't have a final verdict on his suspension.
Yeah, and he didn't mention, Commissioner said they're still gathering information. What? Y'all trying to find out if the car was stolen?
Yeah.
Did they have the registration was up to par? What are they investigating? What do you need, Skip? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, what do you need?
So I speculated at that moment, that next day, next couple of days on my podcast. I don't think they're going to come down hard on him. And the reason I don't is...
Well, he got 8 games last time, Skip.
Okay.
You think he'd at least go get double that?
I'm not sure about that.
What?
I'm seriously not sure, because they're going to let time pass because they have time to let pass because it's happened in the off season.
But Skip, this is not like a news cycle that something happened on Friday. We tried to bury it over the weekend. People still go like, hold on, what happened to Ja? Why Ja?
You saw those quotes from the commissioner about how important he is to the league and what a role model he can be for. First he said millions, then he said tens of millions around the globe.
Right.
Look up to him because he is a phenomenon and he is extremely important to the league. So it feels to me like they're slow playing this through the off season because they can slow play it. And even now, because this goes so fast for me, I have to sort of refocus myself on now what happened exactly? Wait, if we get all the way to September and into training camp time, you'll forget about all this.
No, I think the thing is, Skip, I mean, suspending him now from what? Ain't nothing going on.
Nothing.
It's not like you got on one of the teams that's still playing. So it doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
I think the thing is, as once they get closer to a season, they're not going to do anything because they're not going to let it overshadow the draft. They're not going to let this suspension overshadow the champions of the NBA. It's going to happen after that. Now, I can't give you a time frame, Skip, but I do believe before the start of they go to training camp or the summer league, they're going to have something in play.
I'll just bet you it will be much less than you think. I'm guessing like 10 to 15 games.
Oh, no. I say he gets double to triple that. He's getting 16 to 20 because some people say he can only get 25. Whatever the max gets, I say he's going to get the max. I say he get the max. If the max is 25, Skip, I believe he gets the max.
So in the biggest picture, the issue facing the NBA is he did not use it's not like he robbed the bank like he didn't hold up somebody. I don't know. He didn't use the gun. He's brandished it according to others before. He's been playing with the gun. He's been displaying the gun twice.
And maybe the investigation that they're doing, maybe they're talking to the 17-year-old that John got into it with. Maybe they're talking to the security guard at the finish line, the Foot Locker, wherever the store that was.
It was the mall security, head of security.
They got into it. They got into it with.
He filed a police report.
Maybe they're talking to the young ladies that somebody ran up there and took them from. Who knows? I mean, so maybe that's a part of the ongoing investigation. And not the specifics of just him in the car with his homeboy and he brandishing the gun. So maybe that's the investigation that they're doing. Maybe they're like, okay, let's see what. And now we're like, you know what? This man got a real serious issue. We need to step in. We need to do a serious intervention.
Yep, I got it. All I hope is if he does need help, that this time he's going to get real serious help.
I agree.
hopefully someone in his family, in his inner circle, guys, is listening to what you're saying and what so many people across the sports landscape are saying, and will really tell him what he needs to hear, not what he wants to hear. Well said, guys, on all fronts. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.